Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's meetup by IxDF Kerala, sponsored by Experion Technologies. You see, we love making systems smart and automated, but what happens when AI gets it wrong? You know, um, Wrong recommendations quickly shatters users' trust. That's why today we are decoding designing trust when AI could be wrong, and keeping the humans in the design loop. We're exploring how to build interfaces that partner with users rather than just executing tasks blindly. This ensures humans always have the final say. To guide us through this, we have a very familiar face. Many of you know Tilova Gosh from our previous session, and we're absolutely thrilled to have her back with us today. For those who might be meeting her for the first time, Tilova is a user experience consultant with over 15 years of expertise. She's a certified user analyst and a behavior researcher who has collaborated globally with brands like Red Dot Foundations. Welcome back, Tilova. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Vishi. How are you?
I'm good. It's a pretty
Mm.
beautiful day in Chennai over here.
Same here in Bangalore. Quite sunny. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yuvishi and Team IxDF, to giving me that opportunity to speak about certain topics which are already now in the system in the market, and we are understanding somewhere the trust has been played around or something, some mistakes are done. What should we do as a human? So since today's world, it's not only with only machines and machines getting intelligence simultaneously, it's also the humans, the responsibility, uh, the responsibility that machine and the human has to give a better experience. So that's what I wanted to decode and tell you people that how I perceive this system and how I want to talk about that how certain frameworks can minimize the harm, the breaking of trust in the system. So before we go ahead, like while we all know that AI currently everywhere it is AI, and AI has benefited humans all over the world, but it may also harm humans if not developed properly. So before we get into deep down to understand how it harm people, how we can resist ourselves, how we can solve the problem with certain calculated or scientific methods or frameworks and all this. I want to understand. There is a poll question, Yuishi, over to you. I want to understand what do you do when you get an answer from an AI tool at work? You are working, you are using a lot of AI tools every day in your work. So when you get an answer, how often do you stop, check it before using it? Would love to know the audience's opinion about it. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes if the audience can take part in the poll. Yoshi, the poll is already up.
It's a tie right now. 15 people have posted, and it's a tie between sometimes and often.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
that's a good instinct, I would say. I did expected this kind of a result, being all most of us are from design backgrounds or somewhere related to product backgrounds. Um, Answer A would have been very disappointing to me, but B and C makes sense. Mm, because it's a good instinct, but still there could be instances that where there could be instances where you can leave a gap, and that is what design will help you to bridge that gap when you are at B or C, where you do sometimes check but still you fail, but design can help to bridge it. But before we start, we'll go over with the session, and we start, I will just want to highlight one of the um, how AI can make mistake. Like we have seen AI, it's an automation bias, like how automation bias has compounded an invisible harm in the society. So it's a real life example. Amazon had a application tracking system which they have developed. It's from 2014 to 17. It was on. So which they have developed using 10 years of experience of feeding resumes of people. Uh, because it's a with the resumes, and but over the time the system has started to show that there are more male candidates who are being recruited rather than female. The females candidates were like resumes were penalized, because it was downgrading the woman graduates, and the people in the system was understanding that something is getting wrong. Why is it like only male candidates are getting more highlighted in this tracking system, but rather than female? And then they understood that there are certain words in the resume which the AI was trained with, that words like executed or captured were the words which were more familiar with the men's resumes and was not very familiar words related to female or a woman resumes. And that's a bias that it was creating. Again, system cannot take a decision. It takes a decision based on what is fed in, what is the pattern in it. So again, it's a failure. They understood the problem, they couldn't sort it out, they had to sunset the application tracking system. Now, the question is, was the human not there to take a decision? Yes, the recruiters, the human was there as a checkpoint to to see the scoring output. They were not as a checkpoint or a reviewer to understand when the system is working, how the decision can be changed if there is some sort of a bias in it. So the system was not designed, the AI was not designed in such way. So it created a huge harm of temporary harm in the application tracking system. So it's a failure, if you say it's a UX failure. So again, so this is AI. It's an intelligent thing. It's an intelligent system. Now, how do you characterize intelligence? We all know humans are the most evolved intelligent animal, but AI is in another intelligence. But how do you characterize gives characteristics to this intelligence? First thing is like understanding the world, perceive, interpret, and represent the environment as they see it. Like example, you are a small kid. You were shown a puffy little small rounded eyes with 2 ears and a tail, animal-like thing, and was told it is a cat, and you immediately recognize and anything related to whether it's a big cat, fat cat, small cat, red cat, black cat, dotted cats, whatever. Whenever you see certain things as a human, you understand this is a cat. You recognize, you don't need a pattern. The knowledge is already there in your mind, which helps to interpret. The representation happens. Learning and adaptation. So when you talk about learning and adaptation, it's like you acquire knowledge with time and improve over time. Yes, AI also does this. Obviously, it improves over time as on when you fed it. But for a human, is like you are already told that this is a tiger. Like suppose as an example, you're told it is a tiger. Okay, it is a family of a big cat. It's a tiger. You don't need patterns for it. You logically understand based on your knowledge as a human. Again, machines can also do it as just if you take only learning and adaptation, thinking and problem solving. You reason, you plan out, you make effective decisions. Like, what should I wear? Today I have a meeting with a client. What should I wear? You reason out. You reason out in your mind, you plan it, you find the dress codes accordingly, and you go to office. So this is how your thinking and problem solving intelligence. Then your interaction. Human is a social being. Human interaction and action. So natural language composition, communication. You don't need your brain can automatically take up visual cues, cues when you are discussing, when you are talking with another person. You don't need a predefined pattern to talk. It's just spontaneous. So when we talk about all these 9 points under these 4 categories, I would like to understand that when you map these categories, characteristics with any intelligent products around us, can you find out one product, one AI product? I would like people to use their chat if they can. Um, that one product which can encompass all these 9 characteristics. There is Alexa, who uses natural language communication. There is your Fitbit or Apple Watches, which can detect your motions and all. So there are products, but is there a product which can encompass all these 9 characteristics? It's hard to find. I would like people to write it in the chat so that you can have an understanding that how it works. But yes, human is the most evolved product of the universe. That is why we human can work multidimensional. I'm not talking machine will not be able to, but it's still far-fetched. Going ahead, so we all know that we have already learned till now. Market is buzzed with all these words. We know about AI. There are a lot of there are, but typically there are 3 types of AI. One is narrow AI, another is general AI, and another is super AI. What we are working currently is with narrow AI, like a system which is specialized to perform a single well-defined task with high accuracy. So it is defined, it is predefined with the data, it is fed with the data, it tries to, it's a domain specific. Then it's a general AI that machines are capable of understanding and learning only intellectual tasks, like more like a human mimicking, if you say. And then there is a super AI. It's a very, very hypothetical concept still, a hypothetical intelligence that superpasses your human cognition and across virtually every domain. Like it is like it starts where the human stops thinking. That is the thing. So, general and super AI is still unsolved due to complexity of the human intelligence because human intelligence is still very, very complex. Still, some work is going on in general AI, but it lacks clear definition. And super intelligence is way beyond human capability. It is still in a hypothetical cases. You see it in movies, you see it in stories and fantasy worlds and all, way beyond human capacity currently. But yes, general AI, there are some work obviously going on, but still it's it's not fully built because the definition is still not. And I just want to make it very clear, please do not confuse between generative AI and general intelligence. Both are not same. When say general AI, it is not Gen AI. Gen AI is a subset of narrow AI that creates new content based on the learned data patterns. Okay, it's a subset like machine learning and other deep learning. General AI is also a subset of a narrow AI. So it did not innovate, it do not innovate. What it does, it creates new content, creates new suggestions, creates new designs for you based on the patterns and the data that has been fed to this system. Next, then so it's no point of talking about general AI and super AI currently, which is what is buzzing right now is the narrow AI in the system and in your room. Everywhere it is AI. But what are the building blocks of narrow AI? So there are 4 broad building blocks of narrow AI. Intelligent analytics. These are there in the system long time before. It's just that it was not humanly, it didn't have a human interface sort of a thing where you are interacting. Today, it has a interface for you to interact. So it's becoming very, very clear and obvious in your system. But it was there in the system for a longer time. So like intelligent analytics, computer vision, we all know like face unlock biometric thing is like was a very it was one of the coolest feature in your iPhone or Android smartphones and all. Handwriting reading, scanning a check at an ATM, then video analysis, all these security cameras and all this that you have. Then language understanding. Alexa, okay, Google was always there in our and Siri. Then sentiment analysis, reading if a review is happy or sad on all this, writing text, today's chat GPT, any sort of a GPT model, smart automation, virtual assistants, special smart devices, robots, all the automation, industrial automation that happens, self-driving cars, is one of the hype thing currently, the vehicle that navigate on their own. And intelligent analytics, that's obviously forecasting, weather forecasting, anomaly detection in your card, credit card, some sort of um, fraudulent transaction has happened. It spots that anomaly. It gives you a call. Like you would have understood, seen this thing. Like in case of HDFC, one of the bank I would like to highlight. You do a larger transaction, you immediately get a call that. You have done a larger transactions and all this. So all these things are fed. So all these intelligent automations are already there, which was built on this Anaro AI. But just let's come to the phase where AI makes something wrong. It is just an experiment that I was doing. Like when narrow AI misses the big picture, like just to give you a highlight that it cannot think logically like we human. We think that they are very intelligent, they're super, but it lacks. So this is one of the experiment I was doing. So like an architect, I was trying to design an elevation of an house, and then based on that I wanted to design the floors of it. So I prompted the chat GPT, Gemini, with the different requirements in each floors and everything, and this is what AI produces. Gives me a map. Wow, beautiful, very good map. Floor plans. Wow, why do I need an architect to design my house? It is giving me a pure full floor plan for it. But what went wrong when I went inside, and if I would have taken it blindly, I would have been mocked. But when I went inside, I wanted to scrutinize and see it very clearly. What it shows that the staircase shifts from one floor to another. The bathroom sits over a living room, and then there are lot of things like plumbing risers don't line up vertically properly. So why did the narrow AI fall short here? The basic reason is like it doesn't have that spatial reasoning. What it captures when you give these prompts, it starts to read patterns from its the data that it has about the floor plans, and it gives it do not have that spatial reasoning to it individually creates these images. It doesn't links that okay, this is the first floor of the house A, and this is the second floor of the house A, this is the third floor of the house A. No, it produces the images and the images separately. As I said, you give a prompt, it produces separately. So that's why there are real world, no real world logic. Pattern not understanding, like it doesn't understand. It mimics what floor plans looks like it has a data, lot of database. It has the pre-fed data. So they know what a floor plan looks, but is it connected with first floor to second floor? No. So the logical reasoning, thinking, problem solving, it's still not. It's not that where we are standing currently in case of AI. Just wanted to highlight like where if you don't scrutinize, you do not stop by and see what your AI tool is producing as a result, you might end up in a loss or a big problem. So again, with that, I will like to say that how in any customer journey, we always fed AI, like as a capability, as a discipline. You will always find. We have seen like to evolve or to improve a product experience. We have always added AI in the everyday products. It's like if you see the journeys, like from awareness to consideration to conversion to maintenance to retains to advocacy, you consider these 6 steps of a customer journey. In each of the steps, you have seen that some of the other in your products, everyday products, some of the AI capabilities are being introduced. Like target in case of advertise awareness is targeted advertising. Like you see certain types of, you're talking about supposedly you're talking about some vacation. You will see there those kind of you have just checked out one or two, and you will continuously see those type of advertising in your Facebook. Those are like on your social media insights. So or the Instagram ads turned into to your interests. It immediately starts, not on Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. It immediately starts to show things which you have shown liked, and so it starts to read the pattern and it starts to target consideration, that recommendations and all, your Netflix recommendation, or Amazon, like customer bot also brought this, the comparative analysis, virtual assistant in conversion phase, like fraud detections, dynamic pricing. It's one of the biggest thing that we you might have, people who take public transport must have faced this regularly. It starts to rain, your Uber price surges like anytime in real time. So it just reads the pattern. Okay, the weather change. There will be a, whether there is a high requirement, or the whether the whether you really want the Uber search has gone up or not, it just surges the price because it started to rain. So optimize takeout in the maintenance phase, like kind of proactive solution, automated service, real-time resolution, like banking chatbots. Today's world, most of the time, the banks, bank, any problem with your cards and payments or anything, the first thing that you face is a chatbot talking to you, and it has evolved way beyond. It has started to understand your languages because it's been trained like that. So the most of the work is resolved by using these chatbot solutions, and obviously maintaining the cost also. And then retention phase, feedback analysis, personalization, loyalty programs, Netflix tailoring your homepage. Every you watch a type of series for 1 month, the next month onwards, it's a similar type or similar genres of movies and web series will be popping out in your Netflix homepage. And then advocacy, like sentiment analysis, referral programs, predictive analysis, like the very known today's world, most of them, today's generation are like hyped with this, the how Spotify does a wrapped session, a year wrapped session, like this is your score. And it's a social interaction. A lot of social interaction happens, like okay, this type of, this is your genre, this is this type of songs you have heard for so many times, why don't you share in the group and social medias and all this. So all these advocacy and bringing more retention, obviously, in the app. So this is how AI can be. But what is the dangerous side of it? We all know there are the good side, but everything has a flip side. The good part of AI integration adds values to the business by elevating the experiences. But what lies on the other side of the coin if it becomes, if it shows something wrong? Like one thing is very clear, AI system don't know what they don't know. It's very clear. LLMs and recommendation engines produce fluent, confident output, even when the underlying data is incomplete still, because it is how it is. The interface rarely signals the uncertainty, and users rarely expect it. Users take it blindly most of the cases, and especially non-experts, people who are the freshers or the people who are new to the systems, they get empowered by using an AI, but they lack the judgments that the data it is producing, the result or the insights it's producing might be a stale data, might have some anomaly in it. So they lacks the judgment in it. And AI do not take that responsibility as a system to point that uncertainty. AI will never come and tell you that, oh, sorry, I don't know about it. It will never. If you point it out, sometimes it might say, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I will correct it like this. But if it doesn't know, it will never come and show it in your screen that, sorry, I don't know about it. Trust is a calibration, not a belief again. Why will I say that? Because users who believe AI is infallible skip verification. Again, trust blindly. And they do not verify the data. They do not judge what is it. I just showed the experiment that I have done with the flow. So they will take it blindly and they will start working on it. And users who distrust it, there again, when there is a good side, then there is a bad side also. So there is, when there is a bad, sorry, the ulta, when there is a bad side, there is a good side also. So there are times when AI do gives correct signals, but people who do not trust just completely ignore those useful signals. So a good UX design actually calibrates trust to actual system capability. That is where UX design frameworks and all these things will be required. And the cost of getting it wrong is asymmetric, specifically fields and industries where any sort of a mistake is not acceptable. It is, so in healthcare, finance, legal tools, a wrong AI suggestion acted on without oversight can cause a disproportionate harm. Obviously, the result, the consequence will not be reversible. So in those cases, the stakes determine how much human oversight must be designed in, not bolted on. That whether what kind of work, what kind of products you are working, what kind of systems you are designing, and what is the stake will decide that how much human oversight is required. It cannot be overlooked, and specifically in fields like in healthcare, finance, and all. With that, I want to keep bring one example sort of a thing, like how do how we used to do it in a human centered design approach earlier when we used to design any application, and how we do it now with an AI in the in the system. So if you see a travel app, a very traditional approach, how do you book a flight is like, there is a search input, there will be some flight result will be given, you will have a manual filtering and sorting, you will do some filtering, you will do some sorting, there will be some nudging and pressure created, like, okay, add this, add that, you can add extra seat, you can add a meal, you can add a baggage and all. Then there will be a price breakdown, okay, and then the payment and outcome. Now, so what happens, what is the human thought that happens when each of these steps works? Like, in case of a search input, it's a manual process, there's no personalization or guidance. Go back to 4 5 years back, an app is designed and hardly, so those times the apps are designed, there's no personalization, no guidance, nothing, it's a manual process. Then flight results, again, a manual process, no prioritization, high on cognitive load. It's a plain simple list which is shown to you. um, then you go to filtering and sorting, you adjust according to your taste, you go on adjusting, it's a repetitive task, go on adjusting your requirement based on your requirement, you go on adjusting the filters. uh, System is not prompting you, it do not understand your intent back then. Nudging and pressure, there are add-on pressure without complete transparency at times, like add this, add a meal, or add extra for baggage. Why you require, what is the reason, is just there as it might be in an optional, but it is there for you to add. And a comparison of trade-offs are highly cognitive, like, if I add this, how much price I'm paying extra, if I'm, so that comparison I have to go back and forth to understand. Then price breakdown. Certain times it upsells, clutter. Hidden charges are not very clear. And the worst part is, when you are booking, am I missing something? That is always an uncertainty that works on the back of your mind. And then if there is a payment failure in your payment, it disrupts the whole flow, because and leaves no option for the to recover. There are less times because it's a third party integration of payment gateways and everything, and again a start over process. Nowhere you can start from the place where you are leaving. So there is a lot of it, and lot many times user lacks the confidence of, did I book the ticket on the right dates, even fly right on the right date. Like, it is always there in your mind when you are booking. And this kind of traditional approach, many a times people would, there's a less references and all. So these kind of things were there in the traditional, which has, with the human centered approach, it has improved places and everything. But now let's take an example. Now let's take that same travel app where we bring AI to solve certain problems of these human users' cognitive load, but driven by business outcome. Business is now, what does business KPI means? It means faster sell, cross sell, bring the feeling of scarcity so that it can lead on a quicker conversion, because that's a profit, right? Forced to sell tickets with higher margins, which leads to higher profit. It will recommend, it will show certain things where you will be delusioned and you will buy that ticket because you feel that, okay, that is the cheapest ticket I am getting. But you don't know back of the system what is working, and designing a pseudo approach to make the user feel that it is making the life easier by helping him to take more informed decisions, I would say. So what happens? An AI entry point, we bring AI, make it more personalized. That's how we bring the pseudo approach. We make it more personalized. So AI initiate and integrate interaction aggressiveness. Like, it immediately shows that, okay, this is the best ticket for you. See, these are my recommendations, and create a push based recommendation, completely ignoring the user intent. That what was the user's pattern, what exactly he is wants to, how he wants to, what kind of tickets he wants. More than that, it is more of recommending. Okay, the system recommends these. It is not a user's intent that it is recommending. It is system which is recommending. Then it recommends but lacks transparency. Why it is recommending? It never gives it. Is it actually useful for the user? Again, AI is there, but from the business outcome, is the AI? Is it actually the user's requirement? Is it meeting the requirement? No. Then bias ranking could be a possibility to deceive the user's choice. You never know what algorithm is working in the back end. Obviously, it's the business wants to drive the outcome. So some bias ranking might work, and it might show those kind of tickets which has a higher margins for them. And highlighting the recommendation over cheaper options, like they will try to recommend, again, business will try to recommend options rather than giving you a cheaper option. It is there. They are not telling that it is not there in your screen, but they will highlight more on the recommendation. It will push you. It will try to manipulate your decision, and it will force you to go into the decision that AI has taken it for you. And then AI gives a comparison again with the recommendation. It summarizes the comparison with with selective disclosure of information. It doesn't gives you the why of it, but it compares. It gives a comparison. And then pre-selected add-ons. It will automatically, with not reading your pattern, just to upsell, it will automatically add on the add-ons, pre-select the add-ons. I'm not telling it is not there in the earlier approach. In the traditional approach, it is there. But note it, in the traditional approach, they at least mention optional. Here, they give an opportunity for the user to deselect, but it doesn't tell upfront that it is optional. So it pre-selects it. It somehow manipulates your design to so that it favored the upsell. And AI takes a decision on behalf of human, and that could be a risk. Now, urgency nudges, again, it's a like showing that two seats left. Your price will get refreshed in 2 minutes. You need to do it. So all kind of urgency nudges it creates and reduces thoughtful decision making. And in the checkout completion, user completes the transaction but in a hurry. What, as a user, when you are doing it, when you are past surpassing these steps, you will feel at the time after you book, you will one point of time you will feel a little manipulative, that did I make a correct decision? Was it a loss? can I trust that this was the cheapest ticket, or this is the ticket that exactly will meet my all my requirements? So some sort of a trust temperation has temperation has already has been done with these kind of AI recommendations and business driven outcomes. Now, so are we not doing it? We are doing it. Now, what is the change in today's world? The change is now let's bring human centric design approach in collab with AI. It's not only the AI, but also the human centered design approach. When we collab together, how the changes happens. Uh, AI assisted start. It's a AI asks permissions before, and then reads previous user preferences. More of an AI assisted start. Curated options reduces design space by careful choice, and cognitive load significantly reduced. Price breakdown trade offs build trust through clarity, contextual learning, that proactive context aware insights, like yours commute time, like it gives a commute time, like your commutes, because it reads the patterns from your earlier bookings, and it takes that your commute time from your place in from your office is almost 2 hours to the airport. Would you really like to go for this flight with which is at 8:45? So it helps to prevent decision making, poor decision making, and control on outcome. Like add-ons is basically a kind of an user pattern. People who have used it will use it. People who doesn't use it doesn't. So you can always have, rather than forcefully showing it an AI and human collaboration, you can have a skip or a review option for it. Rather than specifically showing like, okay, you have to go through it. When I know that I have a pattern of choosing my add-on, it should add it by its own, and reduces friction on no forced upsets. Sorry. And checkout and confirmation, they confirm decision quality by telling the user that price you could be that the price you paid is much lower, is a lower than the usual price in the last 7 days. Like it reinforces confidence and assistance option to further help. So that's how when a human and an AI collapse together, a human centered design approach collapse together to create any sort of application. So uh, it's a paradigm shift. Now, today's world, it's a paradigm shift. Why it is a paradigm shift, I would say. Like a traditional human centric design practice, where we start with the needs of the humans and implement the human centered design approach. We work around these three sets, like human desirability, technological feasibility, and human visibility, human entering. So it's a design centered approach which has shifted to a human centric AI design, human centric plus AI design practice, where you can see that with the AI in the room, the design goals are to develop usable and explainable AI system that guarantee human driven design decision making. The so the HCAI approach advocates synergy across technology, human human factors, and ethics. You cannot just omit ethics, because today's world, earlier software design world, it is you design something, unless you don't update, it doesn't get updated. It's a next release. So it's a every time it's a human intervention that happens, and then it gets updated and the design get updated. But with the AI in the system, it is also evolving, it is learning, it is developing, it is adapting. So in that case, it might learn something good, it might learn something bad. So ethics is something which you cannot forget in case to make a responsible AI systems and all. So what is the shift actually? It's a shift from the simple interaction to an agentic AI collaborative approach. I've just shown an example earlier, and then isolated human intelligence to a human machine hybrid intelligence. Okay. Like it's not only human intelligence, it's also a machine. You are also you cannot just surpass the machine. You are adding the human machine hybrid intelligence. And the user interface usability. Earlier in the human centric design approach, it was only catering to usability, where it has moved to an explainable AI to address the AI black box issues that hinders trust, acceptance by providing understandable outputs. So these are the guiding principles of design that serves to achieve the human-centered plus AI design practice. Though the earlier design practice are still there, but these are the few things which we need to build upon when we are doing it with a human plus AI approach. One is transparency and explainability. Can the user understand why this happened? It is very, very important. Like, user should know, you should explain the user, the machine should explain the user that why this is happening. User control and empowerment. Can the the user control was there in our traditional approach, but empowerment and control, like can the user change, refine, and undo this? Ethical alignment, I just told, like could this output cause harm or reinforce bias? So that is a very, very important thing. User experience, it is easy to understand and act on. Definitely, because we are working with machine, it cannot be jargon. The experience has to be seamless. Human plus AI collaboration. Is this human still in the control of the final decision? Is the AI or taking the decision, or the human is taking the final decision? Safety and robustness. What happens when the AI is wrong or uncertain? How quickly you can recover, or can you just uh, point out the uncertainty? Can you just create a checkpoint, a validation? The safety and robustness. Accountability. Who is responsible for this outcome? Again, AI is a machine. AI does a mistake, it will not be an accountable person. A human will be accountable in the person in that place. So who is accountable? It's always the human. So we have to be very careful that how we are designing the accountability and sustainability. Like, is this efficient and responsible at a scale? I won't go much deeper on each of these guiding principles because it will take another session. But what is the challenge when you say? But again, I told with while HI has previously focused on the human and how technological artifacts can be better designed to meet the user needs, but in the age of AI, HI can lead the way in a providing much needed human centered approach to AI. While the traditional system follows a set of rules and it needs human to for a phase wise release design, but in an AI design cycle, it is a continuous process and requires perpetual oversight. Now, how we will do this? What are the things that could lead to how? We have laid the guiding principles, we know that human has to be there in that, but then where does it what are the factors that creates a challenge? Like, how is human well-being has been taken, how human AI interaction is happening? More than that, a design and an evaluation framework. Like, how do we bring that thing in place? How do we bring the human in that place, that so that this ethical design can be carried forward? So here comes the crux, the framework that we use, that we should use in designing any sort of an AI product is human in the loop framework. So what is a human in the loop framework? Human in the loop is a framework where humans actively participate in the AI lifecycle by supervising, validating, correcting, and overriding AI decisions to ensure outcomes remain safe, fair, transparent, and aligned with human values. The goal is to not to slow down the AI process, but so that human judgment complements machine intelligence where it matters. Where it matters. Again, I'm not telling that it is everywhere, but where it matters, the human intelligence has to be there. Now, I just wanted to highlight one example. A few days back, I was part of one of the AI training, and one of the lady who was doing the training did this AI designed this AI platform. She just mentioned we have tried to reduce the human in the loop approach in that. I felt like to answer that. it is not that you have tried to, if you are thinking that you are designing a platform to reduce the human in the loop approach, you are thinking wrong. You are not design, because the platform, the platform they have created, it is more of automation type of a AI platform, which it reads bills and all and creates an automated emails. Probably the decisions are not so risky, for the human has to be there on 365 days in the loop, but it is not out of the loop also. The human has to be, because again, she has mentioned that they have created a knowledge transition. What is that knowledge transition? It is the human on the loop. Now, I'll get into that in the next slide. So it is, whenever people say that we have tried to remove the human in the loop, you need to understand the stake. You need to understand that what kind of product they are creating, that for that reason they are telling that we are trying to reduce the human in the loop. So there are three modes of the human control that we perform in the human in the loop structure. One is human in the loop, and one is human on the loop, and another is human out of the loop. So when you say human in the loop, where AI recommends and human decides, again, a high stake, like medical diagnosis, content moderation, like AI generates suggestion and human reviews, provide feedback, or make the final decision. So the humans are very much in the loop. So human takes the control. It's a final decision maker. Uh, Obviously, the product that that lady has built, it was not such a high stake product where they need a human in the loop, but it is not that they cannot, they have removed the human. They, what they have done is more kept on a human on the loop. Like AI acts, human supervises. It's again fraud detection system monitored by the analyst, then autonomous vehicle with human override, industrial automation with the, so again, the where AI makes decision autonomously while humans monitor the system and step in whenever required. So when like it is, whenever the oversight is critical to restore compliance, safety, and trust, is where the human on the loop is required. Like somewhere that automation breaks, the human should be able to. Rather than sunsetting the application, the human should have that capability to restore back wherever the falter has happened. And human out of the loop, sorry, it is out of the loop, not on the loop. Human out of the loop, typo mistake, is AI acts independently. Again, the spam filtering, all these recommendation engines, all the intelligence things that AI products and the capabilities that we have seen earlier in the everyday products are mostly human out of the loop, where the machine can do it and it's a low risk decision. Like, whereas where the actually it is required for the real time scale, yeah, real time it should scale, is very essential. It's a large automation work like billing, invoices, and all this, where a very less human supervision will work. So that is human out of the loop, is the kind of framework that we do. So who is this human? Now the question is like, okay, we are talking about the human in the loop framework. Now, who is this human? The human in this HITL is a role, not a fixed person, just to make it very clear. It shifts depending on the stakes, the system, and where in the decision chain oversight is required again. So they could be the end user, the human at the runtime, where they receive the AI output, or they could be in the escalation part, like the doctors or fraud detectors, where they judge their final decisions. They are the decision maker, and they could be the UX designer, the human at the design time, who is designing this loop. Not the human in the loop during the product's operation, but more in the architectural part when they are designing this human product in it. So these are the humans that we are talking. They are the real people. They are the role, not a fixed person. So, what is the new UX responsibility when the designers must ensure that are interpretable by both systems, both humans and agents simultaneously? One is interpretability and building trust, collaboration, controllability, governance and safety, error handling, and progressive disclosure. So, these are the new UX responsibilities designers should embrace to design ethical, responsible AI products. I'm not going to go, it's more like we have talked in each of the examples earlier. So what is the key takeaway of this whole session is our job isn't to design around AI. It's to design the human's place inside. Very well, like a traditional approach. Human is in the center. The user is in the center, the human is in the center. So it is not around AI, it's more from the human space inside. So the three key takeaways that I would like to say that AI has real limits. So it depends on patterns. So be cognizant when you are using a AI result. Trust is calibrated again. It might not be always a correct output. Please validate, and UX should signal the uncertainty and always keep humans in the loop that match the level of oversight in, on, or out of the loop to the stakes of the decisions. And my last closing statement would be like um, UX should own the loop along with the product owners. UX should not, it should not the product owners design a product and keep UX outside. UX should always be, should be on the loop and own the product. With the oversight should exist with experimental control and safety guard roles. So with that, I will end my discussion. I just want to end with one small example. Today morning, I was reading one of the LinkedIn posts of one of my acquaintance and see how AI personalization makes a mistake. Like Google, she is traveling from different states for the past 6, 7 months, and every time she's changing from one state to another state, the Google decides to change his her language, search language, to the last state he she has belonged without the intent, without the understanding. It just read the pattern. Okay, she was there a few days back, so she probably belonged to that state, and she for a few days she has stayed over there. She probably belongs to that state, and this is her languages. So it is not creating, but it is creating hindrance. It is creating friction. So personalization also need to be cross verified with the user intent, that it should be asked the question, they should ask a question that are you from this, do you really need this, or are you from this state, or would you like to change your language to your preferred language. Without that, it just decides to update her such languages. So it is again, AI does it when there is no human intervention. It takes a decision and it brings the result. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.